Anurag Thakur has reacted on the controversy. We have his reaction coming in as well. Let's listen in first of all to what Anurag Thakur had to say, and then we will discuss about the same in detail.
कांग्रेस का हाथ न्यूज़ क्लिक के साथ, कम्युनिस्ट बाकी दल ये भी उनका सहयोग करते रहे, लेकिन कांग्रेस का हाथ न्यूज़ क्लिक के साथ, न्यूज़ क्लिक के ऊपर चाइना का हाथ। तो किसका हाथ कहां-कहां मिला है सबको समझ आता है। और राहुल गांधी जी को आज एक अवसर है देश से माफ़ी मांगने का। राहुल गांधी जी सदन में देश से माफ़ी मांगिए और बताइए कि राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन में कैसे चाइना वालों से पैसा लिया और कहां-कहां इस्तेमाल किया।
All right, that was the latest reaction coming in from the side of Anurag Thakur. Remember, it was over 2 years ago that an investigation by the Enforcement Directorate had first claimed that a media portal, NewsClick, had received amount of around 38 crore funding from abroad, rather, of course, hinting at China. And now it has snowballed into a massive controversy after the entire story had come out in a foreign publication. Aishwarya is joining us live on the broadcast. Aishwarya, the storm over NewsClick refusing to die down, government today firing a fresh salvo at the opposition, especially the Congress, isn't it?
Well, certainly, and Times Now was the one who reported it extensively during the raids which was done by the Income Tax Department, and also cases have been registered by the Enforcement Directorate back in 2021 as well. To which now again a political storm had erupted yesterday after a news article which came in New York Times, which clearly had revealed those investigations which has been done by the Indian agencies. To which yesterday Anurag Thakur tweeted it out and stated that and raised several questions that how there had been Chinese funding which has been involved in the entire NewsClick website. How the Congress at that point of time the leaders went to China and signed several agreements, to which there was also allegations that funding was taken place and funding was provided to Rajiv Gandhi Foundation back then as well. To which now Anurag Thakur today as well attacked the Congress party, saying that it is Congress whose hand is with the NewsClick, and it is also China's whose hand is with the Congress. The allegations needs to be investigated thoroughly. Our agencies had been clearly investigating. Yesterday also Nishikant Dubey in the parliament raked up this issue, and it was the Congress member of parliamentarians who went on to the speaker to expunge the entire speech of Nishikant Dubey, because it was that time when the mic was with the chair and not with the floor leaders. So clearly, there had been war of words which had been erupted since yesterday, but it is the Bharatiya Janata Party who had been clearly making an allegations on the Congress party that the leaders have been involved in the in supporting the anti-India propaganda. The Chinese propaganda had been circulated on the NewsClick website, and the entire investigation should be done. In fact, the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party went on to say that
war of words, as you are rightly telling us, is continuing. In fact, as you were mentioning, Times Now had then learned that the probe agency traced the flow of funds to an American millionaire. That was, of course, Neville Roy Singham, who's now in the middle of a controversy. Just talking about this a little more, really, it was on the 5th of August that a story title, a global web of Chinese propaganda leads to a US tech mogul. Here is what the New York Times basically had said. It said, and I quote, in New Delhi, corporate filings show that Mr. Singham's network financed a news site, here referring to NewsClick, saying that it is sprinkled with coverage related to Chinese government, highlighting their points, armed with a New York Times report now that reported that the ED, or rather what the ED had said back in 2021, the BJP has unleashed a no-holds-barred attack on the Congress party and especially Rahul Gandhi. First, it was MP Nishikant Dubey who reminded the Congress of how it defended the portal during the ED investigations into the funding about 2 years ago. Then the onslaught was amplified by other union ministers. Listen to all the BJP reactions.
अगर मैं कहूं तो कांग्रेस, चीन, न्यूज़ क्लिक सभी एक भारत विरोधी गर्भनाल से जुड़े हुए हैं। चीन के प्रति प्यार ये दिखता था, और भारत के खिलाफ दुष्प्रचार ये विदेशी जमीन पर भी और विदेशी न्यूज़ एजेंसियों के माध्यम से भी प्रोपेगेंडा के तहत होता था। एक एजेंडा था, एंटी इंडिया, ब्रेक इंडिया कैंपेन।
These narratives that are put out by platforms like NewsClick and other platforms that are operating in concert are echoed almost blandly, in a similar fashion, by this political leader Rahul Gandhi, who goes abroad and says exactly the same things. Democracy is under danger, the judiciary is compromised, the EVMs are compromised, which is exactly the narrative that these platforms put out. This is a complex conspiracy. This is a network of operators being funded, being fanned by vested interests outside the country who are opposed to India's rise.
In fact, the Congress and the TMC, who alleged an assault on the freedom of media when NewsClick was acted against, still say they won't change their stance.
It is basically between America and China, that age-old war now between these two superpowers, America and China, and in between the BJP government is forcibly putting India into it. But having said that, I must ask my BJP friends that what about the border problem? We want to know what understanding Modi has with China, that he is keeping a shut eyes.
This is rubbish. The BJP's ridiculous argument that anybody who is against them is anti-India is a ridiculous argument which everybody rejects, and even they know the ridiculousness of their own argument.